ما عدت قادر انتظر، سامحني غلطان بعتذر بعتذر بعتذر، سامحني غلطان بعتذر.
The impact of religion and Sufism on arts in Sudan, the influence on modern poetry. Mustafa Sanad, 1939-2008, Part 1. The audience, our journey with the modern Sudanese poet and their impact with religion and Sufism will continue today. And our guest this time is influential, a prominent modern Sudanese poet. And as I told, in our presence, Mustafa Muhammad Sanad, in our first encounter with him. So Mustafa Muhammad Sanad is one of the poets who enriched Sudanese culture. Sudanese cultural life. He maintained a strong presence through his poetry collections and cultural forums, and he would appear from time to time to various audio-visual media outlets. So today, we are wandering through the garden of this great and celebrated poet, who made a tremendous contribution to literature, culture, art and poetry, journalism and public service. He wrote short stories, contributed to literary criticism, supervised cultural supplements in newspapers, perhaps since the 1960s, and participated in literary schools. He represented Sudan at the regional and international levels. Moreover, he is a songwriter combined in his poetic production classical and colloquial poetry. Mustafa Muhammad Sanad, a cultural phenomenon whose contributions occupy a significant place in the field of Sudanese culture. His biography informs that he was born in 1939 in Rukabiya neighborhood of Omdurman. His father Muhammad Sanad was a man of knowledge, letters, and a poet. Literary gatherings were held in his home, and on his passing away, he left behind a manuscript poetry collection titled لذات الخلود, for the essence of immortality. Mustafa Sanad is considered one of the most important figures in modern poetry in Sudan and in the Arab world. He belongs to the generation of Arab poets of the 1960s. He grew up between Omdurman, Al-Ubaid, and Bahri, and a holder of a bachelor degree in commerce, Postal Sciences Division, as well as Bachelor of Law. He worked in the Postal and Telegraph Department, then moved to the Institute of Training. He later joined the Minister of Foreign Affairs for 4 years, serving in Sudanese embassy in Addis Ababa and in the Consulate of Gambela. From 1980 onwards, he devoted himself to journalism and served as managing editor of Al Khalij Al Yawm newspaper in Qatar. Upon returning to Sudan, he worked in daily journalism, chaired the board of directors of the National Authority for Culture and Arts, and served as the chairman of the Text Committee at the National Council for Artistic and Literary Works.
لحظت خصام المرة مد الشهور، يا طبي جور يا طبي جور، لحظات خصام المرة مد الشهور. صدقني لو أغلط معاك دايما أقول انت الأصيل انت الوكيل عن حبي ما ممكن يميل. انت الأصيل انت الوكيل عن حبي ما ممكن يميل. انت الأصيل
Mustafa Sanad Poetry Collections. Our poet Mustafa Sanad stands as a poet of prolific and lasting achievement, a literary voice marked by the profound insight and artistic elegance. A learned and accomplished writer, he enriched the Arabic literary library with a distinguished body of poetic work embodied in the following notable collections. So, the audience is this part of our episode in our first encounter with the celebrated Sudanese poet Mustafa Sanad. Here, I would like sharing parts of his poetic production with a special reference to his poetic diwan. So, his first poetic diwan entitled Al-Bahr al-Qadim, the Ancient Sea, and it has been published in the year 1971. Another contribution in the field of his authoring is ملامح من الوجه القديم, Features of the Ancient Face, and has been published in the year 1978. And then his poetic production عودة البطريق البحري, Return of the Sea Penguin, and it has been published in the year 1988. And then ذاكرة الخوف, نقوش على ذاكرة الخوف, and it has been published in the year 1990. And then he has his poetic contribution بيتنا في البحر, and it has been published in 1993. As the beginning of his career, he published his poems in the Lebanese magazines Al-Adab and Al-Adib, as well as in the Egyptian magazines الشعر والثقافة. His poems are distinguished by the loud musical rhythm and their unique dictionary in terms of the pronunciation or the image that the word draws. It also characterized by clarity. As for its topics, it revolved around meditation on existence and developed in its last days into mystical emotional meditation and the implications of social and moral reform. Mustafa Sanad is considered one of the poets of the school of the forest and desert. His poetry collection, Al-Bahr al-Qadim, the Ancient Sea, is regarded as one of the earliest foundations of this literary movement, alongside Salah Ahmed Ibrahim collection, Qabat al-Abanus, the Ebony Forest. So in regard to the literary movements that have been emerged in Sudan during 1960s, Mustafa Sanad was a member of the forest and desert literary movement, and it has been stated that his poetic diwan, his poetic collection Al-Bahr al-Qadim, is considered one of the earliest foundations of this literary movement, alongside Salah Ahmed Ibrahim, Qabat al-Abanus. And as we have presented our episodes regarding or concerning handling the biography of Salah Ahmed Ibrahim, as well as the celebrated poet Muhammad al-Mahdi, Muhammad al-Makki Ibrahim, in addition to Nur Osman Bakr, and then the celebrated and the noted Muhammad Abd al-Hayy. Those prominent figures, by the way, made up what is known in Sudan as the forest and desert literary movement.
لو انت زهوى الحزن في عيونك بدا خليك امين في العشر لاخر مدى خليك امين في العشر لاخر مدى.
Meanwhile, Sanad, as one critic said, came to poetry and found it the true medium for his soul. His poetic genius had never faded away, never set on the pursuit of nothingness. His spirit was perpetually reaching out to faith and divine attachment. One of the great Sudanese poets, Mustafa Sanad, poems as a whole are characterized by an undeniable, powerful effect and poetic cohesion. His poetic images are vivid, his language is rich with ritual usage. His relationship with Sufism. Mustafa Sanad was deeply committed to his faith, frequently attending mosques, known for his noble character. His poetry reflects Sufi overtones and aspiring soul that left its possessor, allowing him to roam through the vast expanses of the universe. The critic Isa al-Helu, in his introduction to the collection Pages from the Time of Affliction, writes, despite the apparent realism of this poetry, its subjects and its committed positions, it whispers and points to another level of metaphysical vision. Its source, the speech is still for the critic Isa al-Helu, commenting on Mustafa Sanad's relation to Sufism. Its source with a profound spiritual faith in which the dimensions of the real and the supra-real intermingle in a pure element that closes Sanad's poetry in a transparent Sufi mantle, placing him among poets of genuine vision. The authors of his biographical accounts likewise affirm that Sanad possessed a Sufi sensibility, especially evident in his later poetry collections. The audience to introduce the biography of our focus today, Mustafa Sanad. Just here I relied as well as I quoted from these sources. مصطفى سند حياته وتجربته الشعرية. It is MA Islamic University College of Arts. The researcher واثق بابكر محمد الحسن. The year 2013. So this is the first source. It is an MA devoted to the poetry of Mustafa Sanad. It has been presented as MA for obtaining master degree in Arabic language. University of Omdurman Islamic University College of Education. The research is واثق بابكر محمد الحسن زي 2013. Another source that I depend on presenting the biography of Mustafa Sanad. A documentary audio by the journalist Ustaz Salah Shuaib handling the lives, the works, and the poetic production of Mustafa Sanad. Another important source that I depended on introducing the biography of Mustafa Sanad is my book, The Impact of Sufism on Sudanese Arts, published by مصورات for publishing and distribution, Cairo 2024.
تنسى الحنان الكلديك لو مر اسمك في البعيد شايل الصباح